This mind is an instrument which has many layers. But unfortunately, because of the type of education that most people are receiving, only the data process is going on. The other aspects of intelligence are not being touched upon or stimulated.
You see students get depressed a lot, and on the other hand, they become so aggressive. Third thing is stress. Spirituality is needed for those who want to be intelligent and innovative.
Why waste so much time on teaching subjects which are of no significance in actual existential life and not to give them a single direction about the art of love, the art of life, the meaning of existence and meditativeness? All that is essential is missing.
जो विद्यार्थी जन है उन्हीं में कोई एमएलए बनता है, उन्हीं में कोई सांसद बनता है, उन्हीं में कोई मुख्यमंत्री बनता है, उन्हीं में कोई राष्ट्रपति या प्रधानमंत्री उन्हीं में अपने लोग भी सब थे। अब हमारी शिक्षा केवल आधुनिकता का स्वरूप लेती जाए और व्यभिचार प्रवृत्ति, व्यसन प्रवृत्ति, हिंसा प्रवृत्ति ये नई पीढ़ी में देखकर बहुत असंतोष हृदय में होता है। अगर ये बढ़ता रहा तो हम विविध प्रकार की सुख सुविधाएं देने पर भी अपने देशवासियों को सुखी नहीं कर पाएंगे।
I have no hesitation in saying that we are industry biased nowadays. Look at our Honorable Prime Minister. He meditates a lot. Is he not a good Prime Minister? On the Thatronic project proposal presented to that Honorable Chief Minister that time, Narendra Modi, and he remarked, it's good, agad vado, future ache. This concept, if implemented over coming few decades, we will have a society consisting of a person with a beautiful minds. You know, madam, this project is very close to my heart, and I am praying it should materialize during my life only.
So, Professor A.V. Gupta, welcome back to our show Ruling Out.
Thank you so much.
And to all the viewers who don't know about Professor A.V. Gupta, we did a video on Kriya Yoga recently and it has received an overwhelming response. And when we were discussing about Kriya Yoga, there was a very interesting topic that we discussed off screen. It looked like a very unique concept that the youth of India really needs as of today. So for the same reason, we are going to discuss about special spiritual zones with Professor A.V. Gupta. First of all, tell me what is this special spiritual zone and what made you come up with this idea that we need something like a special spiritual zone?
I think before we embark talking on this subject, थोड़ा chit chat कर लेते हैं.
Yeah, sure.
That-
Please.
Before your birth and after the death of some,
Right.
like, where is he or where is she?
They are in the spiritual world, I would say.
So, between the birth and the death, you are on the earth planet.
Huh.
You are in this world,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And before our birth and after our death, we don't
Yeah, we do.
live, right?
Correct.
So that is what I'm trying to say is that for a very, very short and a limited period, we are on the earth planet. Very short. And if you take it in terms of yugas, not even the minute fraction of the period we are here. The average life of a person, I think today is 60 plus, am I right?
Yeah, 70.
60, 70 plus.
70.
And this short span of life, right? Why should we not live very comfortably? Why should we not enjoy?
Very true.
Are you doing so?
No.
Right? No.
No.
We are full of conflicts. We are full of controversies. We are full of jealousies. So, with this brief preamble, we will say that before embarking on the concept of the special spiritual zones, let us say what is spirituality as such.
Yeah, that is a very big
Well-
misunderstanding among people.
Yeah. So if you ask me, the spirituality means to look within, and materialism means to look without.
Hmm.
When I say you look within, that is your true self. And once you look without, that is your physical self.
Hmm.
So physical self, which is generally called I, means ego,
Ego. Yeah.
and spiritual self is I, means spiritual self. Right? So my thinking process was centering around many years. Yeah, why we are making ourselves uncomfortable? But the answer which came to me is because of the environment. We ourselves alone are not responsible for that. Our environment is responsible for this, what we are facing today.
And how was it that?
In the prevailing environment, right from your birth, you are colored with materialism.
Can you
Good.
explain?
Yes, I'll explain. When you get born, what your mother says, she should wear good clothes.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Nice things to eat. When you grow, you should have a cycle.
Right.
Right? Then she should have a scooter. Still further below, you should have a mobile. And rich people, children, what they have? Mobile costing about 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 5 lakh rupees. And as you grow, then you get into the race of good job. Once you get a good job, then a prestigious job. Once you get a prestigious job, then more elevations, and more elevations, right? And even you reach there, still you are not satisfied because you suffer from a fear of unknown. What will happen next? What will happen? Because we are not exposed at all to investigate ourselves. So therefore, once you are not exposed to spirituality, once you are not exposed to spiritual environment, then all the environment which is available, you have to live with it. And environment we already described. So that is the start point. That was my start point. And that's very interesting. I think what I'm talking is around the 2006. At that point of a time, government of India, during Dr. Manmohan Singh's government, they ordered a knowledge commission, which was headed by Dr. Sam Pitroda.
Okay.
So Sam Pitroda recommended that if India has to become at par or compete with the European nations, education is a pedestal where they should try. And Sam Pitroda quoted that there are about 2,500 universities in West. And at that point of a time, we had only 600 universities.
In 2006.
2000. Okay. And there was a gap, big gap of 1,900 universities. So he recommended that by 2014, India should have at least 1,500 universities by 2014.
Did it happen?
It never. Today, we have about 1,000 plus universities.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all. And the second point which came to me is that if we start off somehow or other going for expansion of the university system, how many universities we are going to establish? But whatever we establish, we will be establishing all the conventional universities. Science, applied science, then humanity, then social sciences. But then can we think of these universities embracing spirituality also? That thought process came to.
Oh.
Though my answer was yes, they can, because education is like a ocean which absorbs all the concepts. Otherwise, the concepts come and they fly like a butterfly.
Mm.
The biggest problem of a concept is to have a concept and then sustain a concept.
There is no sustainability.
There's no sustainability. For example, we talk about our own scriptures, right? Now, earlier, what our elders have told, that all these Vedas, Puranas and everything, all of the scriptures in the Hindu system, what were they written? They were not written, but they were transferred through a word of a mouth. As I talked to you about the Kriya Yoga, right? In dark ages, the Kriya Yoga vanished because it was not documented. It is only now that during Paramahansa Yoganandaji's period, it was documented and they are taught. Taught means education. So therefore, education is such a pedestal, such a vast portion which retains the concept and it retrieves the concept and it benefits the generations to come.
Okay.
I further deliberated on is that how we use this university system
Right.
for spreading the spirituality. Then this thought process came to me. Let us have certain pedestals. There are certain take-off points, right? We have certain launch pads from where the spirituality can take off. And along with the spirituality, those who practice spirituality, they also take up and land in a zone which is a comfortable zone. If we can think of having a special economic zone or a material growth, why can't we think of having a special spiritual zones or spiritual growth?
Right.
So that is where this concept started off, that we should go for a special spiritual zones.
I have a question that how will the special spiritual zones, how are they going to contribute in the economy?
In special spiritual zone, the growth of economy is not the focus point.
Okay.
It's not a focal point of my concept.
Okay.
The focal point of my concept is how the spirituality grows and it comes at par with materialistic growth. Spiritual growth and materialistic growth, they should come at par so that it is a hybrid situation. When I was studying in 10th class,
Hmm.
I was only getting 15 rupees per month
There's another.
from my parents. And out of that, out of 15 rupees, I used to spend, I think, 7 rupees on my meals,
And save it.
right? And 2, 3, 4 rupees on breakfast
Okay.
and something on school. And today, my child has a mobile which costs more like 50,000 rupees. And same is with everybody. So once you are putting your generation in a total materialistic zones, they will not know anything of this spirituality. And once you need a saturation point, either whether it is this saturation point is materialism or even this saturation point is spiritualism also.
Okay.
As a human being, we have to be balanced people. Any excess of anything, I think I was reading somewhere, I think this Swami Paramahansa Yoganandaji quote is there. Too much of a meditation makes you lazy and too much of a verb makes you worldly. So today we are worldly. Look at the young generation working for 12 hours, 14 hours. At this point of a time, my wife and my son, and he's still in office.
Oh.
So what I'm trying to say is, your growth is directly proportional to the environment you have. If you have pure materialistic environment, you will grow. You will be materially inclined. And if you have spiritual environment, you will get spiritually inclined. So special spiritual zones are those marked areas where the focus will be on spirituality, growth of spirituality.
So why are you advocating knitting of education with spirituality and with special spiritual zones?
Education is a medium which arms you with knowledge, and you can correlate it with the philosophy advocated in the Bhagavad Gita. You have Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raja Yoga.
Mm-hmm.
A student, he practices Karma Yoga by working hard.
Mhm.
He practices Bhakti Yoga by fully devoting himself to the studies. He practices concentration also. And meditation is nothing but the highest form of concentration. That is Raj Yoga. And what else is left? Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga,
Bhakti Yoga and Raj Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga, and Raj Yoga.
Yes.
Jnana he gets when he studies, he gets knowledge. So therefore, spirituality consists of all these four yogas. That you have to integrate these yogas and adopt it in your life. Correct. So there is a spiritual peace. So special spiritual zones, they are providing you a ready-made platform for that.
So what is the difference between the special spiritual zones and the yoga universities that are there right now?
Very good question. It's very good question. I was expecting this question to be. First of all, let me tell you further what I had in mind and what I have in mind when I was thinking on this concept. Now, once Sam Pitroda recommended that India should also have 2,500 universities. So what came to my mind was that if we envelop the concept of spirituality, or we weave or knit the concept of spirituality in the education system, what should be the modern modalities? If we take spirituality direct into the conventional system of the university, it will be of no use, as the Patanjali is yoga universities.
Okay.
Right. So what I thought was, the government should be proactive in this. What the government should do is that they pass a legislation that henceforth, say for example now 1900 universities they have closed, they should pass a legislation that 50% of these universities will be conventional universities and 50% of the universities will be university having the spiritual ingredients. In that, I have named it University of Subtle Energy and Applied Sciences.
Okay.
I have gone through the yoga university syllabi, right? So in the yoga university syllabi, most of the focus is on the scriptures. They will be teaching Bhagavad Gita. They'll be teaching yogas. May it be a Hatha Yoga, or may it be a Raja Yoga, may it be a Karma Yoga. Then they will be teaching rituals, taking out from religions, and of course they will teach some of the subjects. Once the people pass out from the yoga universities, they are basically qualified or skilled in imparting yoga education only. But today's youth coming out from the yoga university is not in demand. They don't have those skills. What I am suggesting is it is a hybrid system. Hybrid system means University of Subtle Energy and Applied Sciences. In such universities, all applied sciences will be taught. Engineering will be taught, medicines will be taught, social sciences will be taught, management will be taught. And besides that, we will teach them the scriptures, comparative study of religions, thoughttronics.
Thoughttronics.
Yes, thoughttronics will come little bit.
Okay.
A university will be consisting of faculties. So I have recommended that these faculties should be there. First is the Faculty of Science and Spirituality. Then we have Faculty of Thoughttronics and Meta Sciences.
Okay.
We have Faculty of Life Sciences. We have Faculty of Technology and Material Sciences. We have Faculty of Alternate Medicines. We have Faculty of Humanities, Environmental and Social Sciences. We have faculty of infrastructure management. We have faculty of patent and legals. We have faculty of scriptural studies. We have faculty of linguistics, and we have faculty of HR and administration.
Wow. So, but all these courses that you just mentioned, all this combining spirituality along with this is going to help.
Now, what I am suggesting is, in a hybrid system, the students of the applied sciences, right, and students of the spiritual sciences, the ratio of the subject start will be 70:30, right? Even the applied sciences students, may he be from the medicines, may he be from engineering, may he be from management, he has to undergo, read the syllabi of the spiritual sciences also. And the spiritual sciences, they should read 30% of the applied sciences and 70% of the spiritual sciences.
But don't you think your recommendation of 70:30 ratio in syllabi in applied sciences and spiritual science, it will not dilute the learning, particularly of applied science stream students?
This 30-70% ratio is happening everywhere. In railway staff college, you have more focus on practical education. In this electronics and mechanical engineering school, Baroda, in military college of engineering, Sikandrabad, our syllabus consists of 70% practical and 30% theory, right? Even in Indian Military Academy, Dehradun, the percentage is focus is more on practical training. So here, the focus will more on spirituality, 70:30.
Okay.
This is up to the graduation level,
Hmm.
right? After graduation level, depending upon their interest, they can go purely either for the spiritual sciences or continue in applied sciences,
Okay.
right? I say let us see that even 15% of the people, 15% of the students, they feel inclined towards spiritualism, right? So 15 multiplied by 11, 15 multiplied by 7. After 7 years, you will find this cumulative percentage of 105% of the people will be those students who will be studying spirituality.
But if we are talking about spirituality and the scriptures, learning the scriptures part of it, then won't it be like a little bit religion biased?
Basically, there is a very thin line difference between religion and spirituality. I would define it this way, whereas the religion is a path, spirituality is a destination. Religion also tells you be good, and spirituality also tells you be good. Only in the spirituality, since it is the part of the Raj Yoga, right? So spirituality will teach you how to raise your consciousness levels. If you are a spiritual, you will be religious. And if you are religious, you are tending towards spiritualism. I think, I don't know in your time, but in our time, our mothers used to tell, "Jhoot nahi bolna." Paap hai. Right? This is what? Religion. Any religion which tells you that you hate any person? It is our doing. We are drifting. Our religions offer us a great opportunity, a great direction, a great path. But somehow or other, we have diverted. When you are materialistic, you run after the greed. And when you are spiritualistic, you don't run after the need, you work for the need only.
Right.
Right? Our brain, it operates from 0 to 21 cycles per second. I am talking about the physical brain now. 0 to 21 cycles per second. Your electricity is 120 cycles per second, 220 cycles per second. Right? So, brain operates at a very, very low frequency. So, the scientists have defined it, demarcated it. If you are operating between 0 to 4 cycles per second, you are at a level of a cosmic consciousness. 4 to 7 seconds, you are at a level of a super consciousness. 7 to 14 cycles per second, you are at a level of subconsciousness. And 14 to 21, you are a level of a consciousness. We generally operate at in 40 to 21 cycles per second. This is where most of the people we are operating. Institute of Nuclear Sciences, New Delhi. They have carried out the study on the effect of meditation, and they have found once you meditate, blood in the rear cortex, blood flow in the rear cortex increases. Right? What does it mean? When the blood flow in the rear cortex increases, that means your big cells in the rear cortex become more healthy.
Okay.
They become more healthy, right? That area. And I think doctors must be knowing that your frontal lobe and the rear cortex has been wired in such a way, that once you activate either the rear or the fore lobe of your brain, then you feel the feeling of a joy and peace. And that's what is required. Once joy and peace is felt, that means it is replaced by pain and restlessness. So once you are meditating, less restlessness,
True.
right?
Yes.
More joy. Once you are always in a state of joy, then what do you want? Where are the conflicts? Right. There are no conflicts. There is no jealousy. You don't have a time for you won't have an appetite for a jealousy. You don't have an appetite for criticism. You won't have an appetite for revenge. Nothing. You will be a person belonging that Satyuga, where everybody used to be honest, peaceful,
Tribal.
and the life will be nice. This concept, if implemented, probably over coming few decades, we will have a society consisting of a person with the beautiful minds.
So any religion affiliation person can join?
Special spiritual zones, they are not meant for any particular religion or any particular faith to be promoted or projected. Special spiritual zones are the places which are designed to experience spirituality irrespective of caste, creed, religion, faith.
So far, it sounds as a wonderful concept, but how is it going to be implemented?
I got an opportunity to discuss this concept of special spiritual zones with His Excellency, the former governor of Gujarat, Shri O.P. Kohli ji. I also discussed this topic with the Principal Secretary, Madam Anju Sharma ji, and the ex-Honorable Chief Minister Rupani ji, and also the ex-Revenue Minister Kiri Rajendra Trivedi. The same question came up that how this project is to be implemented.
Yeah.
We have to carry out a feasibility study.
Mm-hmm.
In case of a project Thoughtronix, which we will discuss subsequently, Government of Gujarat had given us 38 lakh rupees. And I was the coordinator of that project way back in 2007, I think.
For the feasibility study of
For the feasibility study. So first of all, you have to carry out a feasibility study. Where the government is involved or the private partners are involved. If some my friends in the industry, if they are, they are the viewer, if they are listening to me, I would appeal to them, please come forward. Let us carry out the feasibility study. Concept, of course, is great. There is no doubt about it. Or the government of Gujarat supports us financially to carry out the feasibility study. Let us open one special spiritual zone. Let us have one university of subtle energy and applied sciences.
Okay, that sounds convincing. But if you want to carry out feasibility study of the concept, if you're so sure that the concept will take off, why do you want to carry out a feasibility study?
Let them see how many such people coming from this university are absorbed. Let them see how many students they fare better than the students coming from other universities in their life. It's a long process. So government role is to support the concept. First support is a feasibility study, and second support after the feasibility study. Let this feasibility study be completed within 1 year or 6 months.
Hmm.
Let it be completed in 6 months to 1 year. Have the experts from academia, have experts from industry, have experts from the social religious organizations. Earlier, the growth of the spirituality in the good olden days, say in Treta Yuga, or the Yuga of Lord Rama. ठीक है, besides the king, he used to have dharmacharya. He used to advise the king about the ethical decision making and those decisions which is in the favor of the public.
Totally.
But today, no such concept is there. So, in other words, we can say they used to take the spiritual decisions, right?
Yeah.
And today, let the spiritual come in the domain of public now. Let the spirituality come in the domain of education now. So, I am not saying that you should implement it tomorrow. What I am saying is let us start.
Right.
I have suggested in my concept note that in Baroda, Pavagadh can be one place where you can open the University of Subtle Energy, right? And on the bank of the rivers, near forests, because the land is cheap also, near sea, near rivers, bank is
Within the nature.
within the nature. They should contact with the nature. And even I think in case of America also I have suggested certain areas
Right.
where these special spiritual zones construct.
The ex-chief minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh, he also did something on the special spiritual zones. I read it somewhere. Is it the same thing?
I also read it, but I think what he did was that particular zone from where Lord Rama, I think, crossed, that he wanted to make it as a special spiritual zone, so that some these religious structures can be uh, promoted, and it can be made as a religious tourism place, that area.
So how special spiritual zones are different from existing religious places like Mathura, Kashi, or Sri Ravi Shankar Ji's ashram in Haridwar?
Concept is not that. Concept is totally different. The concept is we are trying to bring spirituality under the umbrella of education.
Hmm.
We are using education as a pedestal where we are integrating spirituality.
Mr. Mukesh Ambani, along with Sri Ravi Shankar, he also started off with a project on a special spiritual zone. But for some reason, it was not able to.
No, it's not that.
Okay.
When I was a registrar of this university, at that point of a time, when we got the grant from the government of Gujarat, right, at that time, point of a time, our honorable vice chancellor at that point of a time, Dr. Manoj Soni, he, with the help of the state government, he invited Sri Mukesh Ambani, Sri Ravi Shankar ji and Mukesh Ambani ji to inaugurate the Center for Thoughtonic Studies.
Oh, okay.
There is one white bungalow. There it was opened.
Okay.
The Center of Thoughtonic Study in the White House was a place where we used to carry out the experimentation with the patients, suffering with HIV/AIDS, coming for the positive thought therapy.
So far, what I understand is that the university is a part of SSZ. But apart from that, what other things will be surrounding the university? Because there needs to be something else also, like a city or a town or something like that.
I will give you an example of IPCL
Okay.
here in Vadodara. Right? Once IPCL came,
Hmm.
ठीक है, what that IPCL was producing or manufacturing chemicals, right? So what happened thereafter? The township came.
Yeah.
Now look at the Jamnagar. I was posted in Jamnagar way back in I think 90s, late 90s. Jamnagar was a very, very poised, calm city. Okay, there used to be old ponds. There was no pollution. There was no heavy traffic. People were I won't say spiritually minded, but definitely highly religious minded people. Ambani ji was a man of a vision, right? He chose Jamnagar to reduce the cost of import of crude oil from the Middle East.
Oh,
That was his aim,
you're right.
right? And today, that town has uh, got converted into a lucrative industrial hub. I am not saying it's a wrong thing. I am not saying you stop it. What I am saying is, in case you have been able to create, if the government has been able to assist the industries to come up, the government should think of
Spiritual zones as well.
establishing spiritual zones where only there will be the spiritual activities. There are n number of spiritual activities.
Right.
Once the university comes up, automatically the township will start building. And one township will start developing, right? There, in that township, they will get an environment.
Hmm.
सतयुगा में क्या होता था? सतयुगा में क्या होता था कि जहाँ पे भी एक सेंट बैठ गए, उसके आसपास उनके भगत बैठे नहीं, तो उस जगह का वातावरण क्या होगा?
शुद्ध होगा।
शुद्ध वातावरण हो जाएगा। इसीलिए ये जो मेरा कंसेप्ट जो है कि जब यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ सटल एनर्जी एंड अप्लाइड साइंसेज आ गई, मान लीजिए टू स्टार्ट विद यूनिवर्सिटी में 10,000 लोग हैं,
10,000.
वो 10,000 लोग जो हैं वो शुद्ध वातावरण क्रिएट करेंगे।
Hmm.
अगर आप ग्रीड नीड कोशेंट से अगर आप कंपेयर करें, द नीड कोशेंट विल बी मोर इन देम एज कंपेयर टू द greed quotient. So that is what we are trying. We are suffering today because of the greed quotient. No end of desires. You have desires. You earn money. You enjoy life. Who stops you? But while earning money and enjoying life, be a good person. Be a good person. Keep a balance.
Hmm. You have forgotten how to keep the balance.
You have forgotten how to give. You tell me how many of us we give time to ourselves? If you divide your 24 hours, right? I will say 10 hours you give to your office or more than that.
More than that.
7 hours to your sleep.
Hmm.
कितने हो गए? 17 hours?
17.
17 hours.
Yes.
2 hours to your eating.
19.
19 hours. Say 1 or 2 hours to exercise. 21 hours.
Hmm.
ठीक है. What is the time left with you?
3 hours.
3 hours. Where you do you introspect in those 3 hours?
No.
So what do you do for ladies? Right? So what else will come? You say 50 किलोमीटर में ये एरिया फैला हुआ है. So what 50 एक अगर पे आपकी ये जो क्या नाम है साइंस सिटी कितने किलोमीटर का फैला हुआ है यहाँ पे अहमदाबाद में? और 10-15 kilometers, right?
Hmm.
That's all. No. Question is that any pursuit which is contributing to the growth of spirituality and goodness will be allowed in this area. No industries will be allowed to come in this area.
Hmm.
Right? Farming can be allowed. Farming can be allowed. Pollution-free farming,
Okay.
that can be allowed. Then what else? Anything which are materially related which does not intervene or interfere in the growth of the spirituality will be allowed. Trusts looking after the widows, needy people, they will be allowed. These rules, regulation, what all will be there, a expert group can sit and examine. In special economic zones are there only economic activities, economic related activities are performed. Basically industries. Basically industries only. I think no farming also.
Yeah.
Right? Farming is not forbidden. They are there. But the focus of the government is the progress of the industry. So here we will say the focus of the government should be the progress of the educational institution contributing to the idea of the
Growth of spiritual.
education.
Okay.
You must have seen the faculty of linguistics. What is in my mind is the faculty of linguistics will be that there will be a training where the students will learn all type of languages. They will learn French, they will learn German, they will learn English, they will learn Chinese, they will learn other Latin countries' languages, and the religious literature which is available in their countries, they will translate into a common language. And whatever good thing is there, they will incorporate it, and we will proceed towards having a universal religion. Because all good things of those countries, they will be available in one language. Today we don't have.
Yeah.
We do not know that what are the salient good points in say in American culture. We don't know.
Yeah.
In Chinese we don't know. Superficially we know, but this will become a documented literature. Even your all scriptures which are in Sanskrit today, they will be translated in the world languages. It will be easy. You give one project to one student, he will do it.
So do you think all people staying in special spiritual zones will get spiritualized?
No, I don't think so. But say even 10% of the people in the special spiritual zone, they get inclination and orientation towards the spirituality and the special spiritual zones. I think we have achieved our aim. In 10 years, 100% people will be there to counter the ill effects of the materialism. If you go back, spirituality have either occupied the back benches or has been buried under materialism. 1300 years after 8th century, no focus has been there on the promotion of the spirituality, which is vital and essential for producing a harmonious, balanced persons. Though bits and pieces, people have been trying to promote spirituality, like certain religious organization or such say like some worship places, but no structured, determined, planned initiative has been taken by the government.
It sounds good, but is it practically possible to set up such special spiritual zones?
Madam, one thing I'll tell you. Before you embark upon anything, there is always a hesitation. There is many ifs and buts. But if you are determined, it can happen. I'll give you an example. I give you an example of Jamnagar.
Yeah.
No, I give you an example of Bangalore. I have no hesitation in saying that we are industry biased nowadays. I may be wrong, I don't. Bangalore was a town, beautiful town. I visited that town when I was in final year of my engineering. Beautiful secretariat, wider roads, beautiful weather, no congestion, and a small sort of a infrastructure of IT. Government decided they want to make it an IT hub. And today, Bangalore is IT hub now.
IT
Right.
above Asia, I think.
IT hub of Asia. So if the government decides, there is nothing impossible. I am not a finance man, but how many thousand crores? Government can do it. Even my private friends, they can come up also. Industrialists, they can come forward. My good friend Tejal Ben, I will request her to come. ठीक है? We work together for quite some time. And by the way, Tejal Ben is a Priya Ban also.
Oh, okay.
At least she can finance this concept of feasibility study for the special spiritual zones,
Yes.
right? And there are good industrialists here in Baroda, good industrialists in Gujarat. I even request Karzan bhai, please come forward. Why don't you come forward and try this concept of opening the University of Subtle Energy and Applied Sciences?
But one of the major challenge I am finding in this whole concept is the end user, or the one who will be learning this will be a student. I am a little bit doubtful whether the students will be open to accept this idea.
End product is a student.
Hmm.
Agreed. Once the University of Subtle Energy and Applied Sciences starts off or takes off, definitely there will be a resistance. N number of questions they will come up in their mind. What is this university? And how do you remove these doubts? By spreading awareness. So you have to open a cell. You have to mark it out. You market anything, it gets lost. I already told you, yes. Initially, एक उसमें है ना, क्या नाम है साइंस में, पता है इनर्शिया, लाइक ए व्हील ना, यू स्टार्ट ए गाड़ी, पहले थोड़ा सा वो व्हील की और ग्राउंड के बीच में फ्रिक्शन होती है, तो गाड़ी धीरे 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 घूम, एंड वंस इट पिक्स अप,
They start rolling.
there it starts rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, why are you going for Netaji Subhash Chandra's Azad Hind Forge? How many people were initially recruited? Go and see. Head full,
Mhm.
right? And it became a large force to reckon with. British was scared of it. Initial concept. I'll give you my own example. My parents never wanted me to join army.
Okay.
They were scared. कि क्या करोगी? एक ही एक बेटा हो,
One second.
मर जाओगी तो क्या होगा? But I was adamant. नहीं, I will. Right? And after that, they are very happy. Arey, only second person in whole district you are an army officer. Rajneesh says, Acharya Rajneesh का नाम सुना? Osho.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He has made a statement in his book called From Sex to Super Consciousness.
Hmm.
I think, have you come across this book?
I've heard of it.
Heard of, must read it.
Okay.
There he says, a worldly man who experiences a joy for fraction of seconds during the relationship, that level of joy, a yogi experiences for 24 hours.
Mhm.
Yes. Yogi means who has detached himself.
Mhm.
That is a yogi. From worldly decorations, he is a yogi. RSS started with one person only. That head Gawad only one person. And 2 persons, 3 persons. Yogananda ji started the Brahmacharya boy in 1918. It would have become a world movement after 100 years. Concepts takes time. Concept takes time. It is not for the politicians to decide how much time it will take. It is for public to decide. And if you are there, it will happen.
How are the students passing out from this university will be different? How are they going to compete with IIMs and IITs?
Tell me one thing. A person who is balanced, he is more efficient, or a person who is agitated, he is more efficient?
Obviously, the balanced one.
Spirituality will provide you a balance. These students, they, by the virtue of being in that environment, by virtue of thinking of spirituality, by virtue of becoming spiritual, they will be more efficient, more effective, more competitive than as compared to the other the students coming from the conventional universities. You try it out. Your boss, who is very calm, is more productive. Boss who is very calm, he wins the heart and soul of the employees.
Yes.
Even a mother, forget about it. A mother who treats the child with compassion, love, calmness, she can impart a better orientation to the child, better quality to the child, better characteristics to the child as compared to the mother who at a small mistakes takes a slap and throws on his face.
Yeah.
By the way, I think I just finished my research on spiritual leadership, right? The research is basically based on the spiritual leadership theory, which has been suggested by one professor, Louis Frey, in 2003. So he has taken three pedestal in the spiritual leadership theory. One is a vision, one is hope, belief, faith, and third is love. He says a leader who has a vision, who believes in faith and hope, and who believes in altruistic love, he is a spiritual leader. And my studies have found that the spiritual leadership is equally effective, if not more. But one alarming research finding has come is the young, and that I think this will give answer to your question, that the young and the junior leaders, they don't contribute to the spiritual leadership. Whereas middle and the senior managers, they favor spiritual leadership. And why it came? Because people today were fed up with the bureaucratic style of leadership, autocratic style of leadership. Look at our Honorable Prime Minister. How many hours he meditates?
4 to 5 hours.
I think so.
Yes.
He meditates a lot. There's some enviable data with me. Meditates a lot. He does yoga.
Mm.
Right? Is he not a good Prime Minister?
Yes.
Is not an effective Prime Minister. Does not he have a spiritual leaning? He has. So that people who have a spiritual leaning, they will be ineffective, or they will be inefficient, or they will be uncomparable. I don't know. It may be futile to believe in that. Yes, your questions are right. I don't deny that. The difference is that the spiritual person is more balanced, more contented, more peaceful, more joyful within, and he will distribute these things. He will spread these things. He will believe in giving, not in taking. Whereas a materialistic man, if you believe in taking only, not giving. You will not give it.
So, what will be the benefits of the SS sets?
Right in the beginning, we said that the SSZ concept is conceived to promote spirituality.
Okay.
And therefore, the first benefit of establishing SSZ will be to enhance the awareness about leading a spiritual life.
Okay.
That's what.
Mm.
Two is that it will drive the researchers to research on spirituality. You will be surprised to know that the research on applied sciences
Hmm.
vis-a-vis the research on spiritual sciences is of ratio of 1350:1.
Oh.
At this rate, the spiritual sciences will totally occupy the backbench.
Okay.
And present generation will not get exposed to the benefit of the spirituality. Then thirdly, special spiritual zones, by virtue of the people living in that type of environment, will lead to harmony. It will be harmonious living in the special spiritual zones for all the people. The spiritual well-being of the individuals, every individual, will grow, will be on the growth path. Not only the material well-being,
The spiritual,
it is spiritual well-being.
right?
Spiritual well-being is rated as the ultimate well-being. When you are full of joy, like a child, you become a child. Okay? No worry, right? Enjoy life. What you can say, Triguna Rahitam. Okay? Goodness, badness, nothing affects him.
You're right.
And there is a lot of scope where there will be the academic areas, they will grow. They will start growing.
What kind of academic?
Yeah, I will tell you. For example, subtle sciences. First is the subtle sciences
Right.
will get a boost. They will pick up.
What is subtle sciences?
Subtle energy is what which is not a physical energy.
Okay.
Right? Physical energy means what? You understand that, no? Mechanical energy is a physical energy. Chemical energy is a physical energy. Electric energy is a physical energy. Magnetic energy is a physical energy.
Is the subtle energy same as what we call the prana in India, or chi in China, or in Hawaii it is called the mana, or the etheric energy that we call?
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Okay. So subtle is like pranic.
Subtle is in a pranic energy,
Okay.
which you cannot prove empirically. Empirically, proof is not there. And I was questioning this also when I was reading. Then I came across कि भाई, what do you mean empirically you can't prove the this subtle energies or pranic energies? The answer I found was the spirituality has law of its own. In our previous conversation also, we said that understanding spirituality is not to be understood. Spirituality has to be experienced. Right. So this joy, not that if once you find a person in a special spiritual zone, if you see him in a particular posture or particular mood, internally he is happy. So spirituality brings you the inner happiness. There will be boost to the co-relationship studies.
Like?
Yeah. Co-relationship studies means that is pranic and photonic relation can be established.
Photonic relation is
Photonic relationship means the relation is related to the light. Can we correlate light with the pranic energies?
how
Right.
that?
Yes, it is there. You have one instrument called electrocephalograph. If you take the photograph of a object with electrocephalograph, right, and then you cut the object, you will find that the cut portion photograph also comes here, but only lines are forced. So this experiment has been repeated with help of a leaf. They took a leaf, a scientist took a leaf, and he took its photograph. The whole photograph of the leaf came, right? And then he cut that leaf half. So the half portion which he cut, the lines of force was there, right? So therefore, the energy, the co-relationship energy is everything. All the atoms are based on light. That is why light and sound, these are the two things. In Kriya, in the yogic meditation also, you meditate on light, you meditate on sound. You meditate at sound means Om, you are on Om, you meditate, and on light you meditate if you see at your kutas. So, though it is difficult to understand the spiritual laws with help of the physical laws, but well, it will give an academic opening for the people to investigate.
Right.
Then skill to modify the servospinal centers,
That is the chakras.
chakras.
Okay.
Now you can modify chakras also. Earlier, your most of the energy is lying at a Mooladhara,
Hmm.
जिसको आप कुंडलिनी
Put any energy.
so that you awake with help of this Kriya Yoga technique. And once you awake the Kundalini to with help of the Kriya Yoga, all the chakras
They get balanced.
they start displaying their inherent energies in them.
Right.
So say for example, sound mein if you say the Mooladhara has a B sound, right? You move further, the Swadhisthana has a Bansuri song. Then you move to the Manipur chakra, it has a Veena sound. You move to heart chakra, Anahata chakra, it has a bell sound, right? And if you move to the Visuddha chakra, and it has a Rivalex sounds, Riva Gadget, sounds of that. So, when vast areas which are totally unknown to the younger generation, particularly, and most of us, they will start opening up.
I was searching online and found a word thoughttronics that has been mentioned. Is there a difference between the word thoughttronics that you have coined while being the coordinator of the project Thoughttronics at Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Vadodara?
I think we mentioned that in the year, I think 2006, when I was the registrar of the university, my vice chancellor at that point of a time asked me that we should do something new. So, that point of a time, I was reading a book of Swami Paramas Yogananji, a very famous book called God Talks with Arjuna, a commentary on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. There he had referred a word thoughtron. So he defined thoughtron as consisting of 35 elements. Yeah. And while reading the word thoughtron, it just struck me that from photon, we have a full-fledged science of photonics. From electron, we have full-fledged science of electronics. Then why not from thoughtron, we can have a science called the science of thoughts, that is thoughttronics. So this is how this word came up,
Okay.
thoughttronics. So further investigations gave me a clue that if it has to be made a science, so how we sort of go further on investigation in this science. So then a title was coined that Thoughttronics and Applied Science in Waiting. So this Thoughttronics and Applied Science and Waiting, late and recently, about 3-4 years back, I got it, a copyright from Ministry of Commerce. So that copyright, so now this is my copyright.
Okay.
Thoughttronics and Applied Science in Waiting. And second copyright I have got is University of Subtle Energies and Applied Sciences, a launch pad for special spiritual zones. So this copyright also I have got.
So have you approached anyone with this concept of thoughttronics?
Yes, I at that point of time I told we got a grant of about 58 lakhs from the government of Gujarat at that point of a time, and we indulged into the into investigation of the studies, and the studies revealed that positive thought therapy, right, thoughttronic, positive thought therapy can curably halt the progression of HIV/AIDS in the patients. And I also shared with you that the Thotronic project proposal, we made it at MS University of Baroda, and it was then presented to that Honorable Chief Minister, then Chief Minister of that time, Shri Narendra Modi, and he remarked, it's good, आगे बढ़ो, future आज है, ठीक है. So this is the future.
That is move further. This is the future.
Agar Vodo, I don't know much Gujarati. Yeah. And this thing was shared with me by that Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Manoj Soni at that point of time. Okay, I went and when I presented this to Narendra Bhai, he said Agar Vodo future Aaj. So I still, those words, they echo. I shared this concept of Thotronics with the then Director General of CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Dr. Mashelkar. And
Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar?
Raghunath Anant Mashelkar, right?
Yes.
And he was very happy. He shared his happiness with me. And he wrote me a personal TO letter.
Oh.
Yeah, I possess that letter as a relic with me. I shared with you, right? And he says, I'm very happy. And I am forwarding your observation on Thotronics to the concerned branch of the CSIR. Okay, to probe it further.
So this project of special spiritual zones, has it been published in any newspapers or magazines that we know of?
Yes. I before applying for the copyright, I had published this article in one magazine which is published from Delhi, having a very, very vast DD. The name of the magazine is The Core.
The Core?
Course.
Okay.
I have been the advisor of this Core magazine also.
Okay.
Yeah, spiritual advisor.
According to you, who are some of the industrialists or educationalists in India or across the world whom you would like to take up this project of special spiritual zones?
You know, madam, this project is very close to my heart. And I am not only trying, but I am praying also. This concept should materialize. And I am praying it should materialize during my life only. And if it doesn't materialize, I leave it to the God. It will materialize. But as of now, I am sure that whether it is public-private partnership or it is the partnership, private partnership only, we don't depend entirely on the government, but industrialists and educationists, they both should support this concept, and it's my appeal to them. What I can think of is that if the honorable industrialist who hear this conversation of ours across the world, I think I will request Elon Musk ji, I will request Bill Gates ji, because even America is dire need of spirituality, and it will usher an era of spirituality. It will spread like a wildfire. I am very much sure about it. We in India have Narayan Murthy ji. We have Mahindra Group. We have Mukesh Ambani ji himself, who has inaugurated the Center for Thotronic Studies. And we can seek the support from Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji also. He is well aware of this. I think if I start from my homeland, Baroda, I think the mind which comes to me, who is the educationist, industrialist also, Shrimati Tejal Benami, then Chirayu Bhai. I happen to know the personality also.
Chirayu Bhai Amin.
Then I think it will be worth mentioning Palace, Maharani ji, and then Rajamata, Sumangini Devi, Gaipot family, they can also support. And If any of them they feel so desired, I think a presentation of 1 hour can be given to them on this concept. If immediately they do not want to invest, they should at least jointly support the feasibility study. Because I am a poor person, I don't have a finance.
Just that will be a first step towards the noble cause.
Yeah. And I said I don't have money to sort of carry out the
You do
visibility study also. All the private university owners, I can appeal to them that they contribute the seed money to carry out the feasibility study of this project.
Well, I think I agree with you that there is something beyond education also, and especially spirituality. Because recently there is a like this person who is trending. His name is Abhay Singh, and he is passed out from the IIT Mumbai. After his education, that is the materialistic education he completed, he turned to spirituality. So I agree with your concept here.
I want to say it's a new thing as such. I think the YSS sannyasis, I talked the other day also. The president of the YSS, uh, Swami Smarananandji, he is from IIT Kharagpur and is a doctorate. Swami Krishnanandji is a doctorate. He is electrical engineer. The vice president or a general secretary, Swami Ishwaranandji, he is a postgraduate in medical sciences. No, I have interacted with most of them, and the same question which you are asking, why they are turning to spirituality, I think in layman's language I should simply say, कि, the magic of enjoying the comfortable life or a joyful life during this small period on the earth is to try raise your levels from the ordinary consciousness to the cosmic consciousness, as I shared with you. So, as long as you live in the material environment or materialistic environment, though there are no studies as such, scientific studies are not there, but the experiential quotes are that your consciousness doesn't move beyond the heart chakra, Anahat chakra. But once you practice spirituality or spiritual sciences, when you enter into, then your consciousness rises up quickly. That is why people say that Kriya Yoga is an aeroplane method to reach God. So that is why people go to spiritual path.
Right.
So that they evolve fast. What you want? You also want to evolve fast as simple as a human weakness.
Yes.
Right? You want to do good in academics, isn't? Similarly, you want to do good or you want to progress faster in your evolution. You want to reach faster. So that is the reason people are going towards spirituality. And in a loose language, I will put it this way. You practice spirituality, lead a balanced life, enjoy yourself. What else you want?
Yeah.
What else you want? And if you are going on a journey, say you are catching a bus, you are going somewhere and you are enjoying singing, dancing, enjoying. Another person is sitting in a morose way, thinking something. Why I couldn't become a chief minister? Why I couldn't become prime minister?
Yeah.
Why I couldn't do this? So he is wasting his time where you are enjoying yourself. The spirituality gives you that joy. You are one with the source. Yes.
Right. So yes, definitely India and abroad, the Western countries are also in a dire need to understand spirituality from its core. On your behalf, I am appealing all the industrialists, all the educationalists all around the world, especially in India, to help support Professor A.V. Gupta in his noble cause to set up special spiritual zones in India. So, Professor Gupta, thank you so much for your valuable time, and I wish you all the best. And I hope your noble cause will be fulfilled shortly.
Thank you so much. I think nobody will be more happy than me if the special spiritual zone concept gets launched in India during my life. That's good. Or even if in not my life, if it gets launched, even after some years, even still I will be happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.